there. So it's been a really long time since I've posted a video. I've been in school, and so over the last semester I didn't really work on anything, and then over the Christmas holiday and into the current semester I've been working on some personal projects, and a couple of them were my own personal projects. Most of the stuff I've been working on is for my soon-to-be sister-in-law. The wedding is in 2 weeks, and over the holiday and into the semester I have been working on a bunch of stuff for her wedding. So I thought what I would do, since I don't have any videos ready for tutorial type videos, I thought I would just show y'all some of the stuff that I've been working on. So here we go. This is a string pendant lamp that I had started working on probably almost a year ago. I never finished it. I just got one of those large play balls like you get for kids at like Walmart or Target, and wrapped it with a cream colored crochet thread, and then over top of that I had a similar colored crochet thread that had a little gold thread twisted in it, and then I just used fabric stiffener over top of that. And then I cut a hole in the top of it and deflated the ball and took it out through the hole, and then I put in a pendant light that I got at IKEA, and then I got this shepherd's hook here at Home Depot and just painted it with a hammered finished white paint, and I think it turned out really cute. The next project that I worked on were some Christmas tree decorations, and these are made out of the little tree-shaped foam forms that you can get like in the floral section at craft stores. And what I used were some vintage buttons that I bought off of eBay. I got almost a gallon jar, and the lady that was selling them said they belonged to her grandmother, and her grandmother stopped sewing about 30 years ago. So the newest buttons in the jar were probably about 30 years old, and some of the other buttons were quite a bit older. Some of them were made out of cellulose, and a lot of them were made out of shell. So with this one I just took the buttons and some white straight pins and stuck them into the foam. For this one I used the white buttons out of the jar and just some plain straight pins and some glass, clear glass beads, and stuck them into the foam. I first painted the foam a silver color because it was one of those green foam forms. So since the small tree forms came in a 2-pack, I used some silver sequins and some multicolored snowflake sequins that I had to finish up the pack, so that I used all of them. And then here is the trio of little Christmas trees. The rest of these projects were for my future sister-in-law's wedding. Her colors were cream, black, and deep red. So I made 3 Flower Girl baskets, and these I just bought a plain basket and then wrapped them in batting material in the fabric, and I folded it to the inside of the basket and glued it down with hot glue. I think I used about 4 or 5 sticks of hot glue per basket, and then I just wrapped a ribbon around the side and the handle, and then made a little bow on the sides of the basket. On the inside of the basket I cut out a piece of cardboard and wrapped it in fabric as well to make the inside of the basket look finished. I also made the ring pillow, so in the same colors. I also had some of the ivory colored tulle, the net material, and I used that as an accent. I made the garters out of a tutorial Corinne Lee did. I believe it was on her Craft Division channel, but this is the Corinne Lee from the Thread Bangers videos. So some of you may be familiar with her videos. This one I put a little embellishment on the front, a little silver and red heart. I thought it was really cute. So this is the whole set together. I think everything turned out really cute, and it wasn't too difficult to make any of these. I just had to figure out how to make some of the stuff, found a few tutorials to teach me how to make some of the stuff. and it was really fun. I think it turned out really awesome, and she loved it. So the next thing she had me work on were some gift bags for her bridesmaids. So what I did for the handles was I just took some black ribbon and I sewed on a strip of red sequined ribbon, and that was what I used for the handles. And then the bag itself, pretty simple, just a square bag. I boxed the bottom. I'm not sure if that's the right term for it. And then I stenciled on the names in red glitter. So here's the inside of the bag. It's lined in black fabric, and then in the bottom I've got a piece of craft foam so that the bottom stays nice and flat. When you put stuff inside of it, it doesn't sag. Here is a view from the side where I boxed the bottom of the bag so it's got a nice finished look on it. And then I did 8 bags. So my original plan was to stencil on the names with regular fabric paint, but the pattern of the fabric kept showing through the paint. I had a couple test pieces that I tried before I actually committed to painting on the bags themselves. So with the red fabric paint, it took so many coats to make the pattern behind it disappear that it looked really, really bad when it was finished. So I went back to the store originally looking for a darker red color and couldn't find anything, but I happened to see some glitter that's made for fabric. So there's a special base that you put down, a type of glue base, and then you sprinkle the glitter on top of it, and that ended up working out really, really well. So here is a close-up of one of the stenciled names. What I did was I printed out the names on regular printer paper and then taped it to a piece of butcher paper, and then I used a rotating or a swivel head X-Acto knife to cut out the names and the little spaces in the middle of some of the letters, and then I placed those on the bags and ironed them down. Because butcher paper's got a plastic backing on it, it sticks really well. And then I just did 2 coats of the glue and the stencil, and this didn't take very long per bag, but it took a long time overall because I had to let everything dry between coats. I only had a small amount of workspace, and I had to do 8 of them, so overall it took me about 2 weeks to finish all of these bags. I also made the hairpiece for her. This is going to go over however she has her hair fixed in the back of her hair. So here I just put it on for a size scale. Here is a close-up. I found a little video or a tutorial online of how to make these beaded flowers. The tutorial was way difficult for me to follow, just a little too complicated, so I just sort of took the high points from the tutorial and figured out how to make it myself. So each one of these petals is individual, and then I wrapped them together and then put the little pearls on there for a little accent. And then here's the overall view. She also wanted some feathers on there, and ivory feathers are really, really hard to find. You can find white feathers all over the place, but we ended up finding an ivory hair clip that I scavenged the feathers off of. So we bought this little hair clip for like $2, and then I just ripped the feathers off of it. So the last thing she had me make was a brooch bouquet, and I found a tutorial by Susie Homefaker on how to make this brooch bouquet, and this is the first batch of supplies that we bought for it. Susie Homefaker recommends a bunch of hydrangeas for the flowers. Imagine any small flower would do. Since I didn't know what I was doing when I started making this, I didn't realize why she recommended a small flower. It's because when you're sticking the brooches into it, the rose is so big that it kind of pushes things apart, and you have to really manipulate the individual brooches to make them cover up the flower. So, but anyway, this is what I had, and this is what we worked with, and I just made it work. So there's about 50 rings here. We got these at a dollar jewelry store near her house. This is a second batch of brooches and rings and earrings. There's some buttons in there, some necklaces we took apart. Some of the pieces in the foreground came from her family, so those were meaningful. And I just put all of these onto floral wire and wrapped them with floral tape. So here is a view from the top, and this is just the first batch of jewelry that we got, and it's starting to look like a bouquet. Here is the finished product, and here's going through the view from all the sides. It took a really long time to make. I think I put about 40 to 60 hours in this, and I think it turned out really, really well in the end. So here's the view from the top of it. So I gave it to her yesterday, and she completely loved it. The only downside of this is it's really, really heavy. This finished piece was almost 6 pounds. So anyway, that's all I've got for right now. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what y'all think. Thanks. Bye.